I'm Andy. I teach mythology and folklore. Welcome to Tantalizing Myths. In our first look at Red's tale, we looked specifically at her age. We're going to follow up with a closer look at other clues about who she is. Our most obvious clue comes to us in the moral after the story itself, where we're told the story is for children, especially attractive, well-bred young ladies. While Red is not specifically named as either attractive or well-bred, we just finished reading a story about a young lady who was attacked by a wolf. It's not a giant leap to infer that Red is one of these attractive, well-bred young ladies. The story itself confirms Red's beauty as the prettiest creature who was ever seen. The story connects the idea of Red's physical appearance to feelings towards her, such as her mother was excessively fond of her, and her grandmother doted on her still more. While not definitive, it's curious that the story takes us from immediately praising how Red looks to how much people care about her. This will come up later. Likewise, the evidence of the affection for Red is having a little red hood made for her, which became the basis for her name. So, Red is beautiful, but also given gifts because of that beauty, and love perhaps, though that might be questionable, what with sending your daughter into the woods alone. The wording is clear about the hood as well. Her mother had it made. She didn't make it herself. So despite being a medieval village, Red's mom is rich enough to commission the making of a hood and have it dyed red. We'll talk more about the symbolism of the color red in the future, but for right now we know that this is not a natural color. To have any clothing dyed is a luxury in these times, and red is especially rare and often a color reserved for royalty. Is Red and her family royalty? We have nowhere near enough information to conclude that. However, we can say with some certainty that Red's family is wealthier than your standard medieval peasants. Being able to commission the making of clothing items, especially dyed clothing, is largely out of reach for most peasants living in a feudal system. It's not impossible, but this is still an indication that Red's family has a bit of wealth. We can go even further by pointing out that Red's grandmother has her own place in a separate village. Often, medieval families lived in generational homes with 3 or even 4 generations of people all living in the same building. Not only that, Grandma lives alone. We have no idea what happened to Grandpa, but Grandma is by herself, and this is why Red must see how your grandmother is doing, for I hear she has been very ill. Grandpa isn't around, yet she can still maintain a separate house in a neighboring village. Yet, in this version at least, can't afford a lock. Every indication from the story and the moral tell us that Red is from the upper echelons of society, even if it's only in this village. The family has status and money enough to afford luxuries like the dyed hood. This will show up in how Red perceives and interacts with the wolf. But before getting to that, we need to take a close look at the wolf. Next time on Tantalizing Myths.